Into the Dark by Claudia Gray is the third book released in the new High Republic era of Star Wars storytelling. This is the young adult book coming after both Light of the Jedi and A Test of Courage, which were released last month. I loved Light of the Jedi and thought A Test of Courage was good, so how does Into the Dark compare? I'd place it right in between, which I think makes perfect sense. I didn't love it on the same level as Light of the Jedi, but Claudia Gray has a reputation already as a fantastic Star Wars author, and she does not disappoint. The story isn't as big and expansive in scope as Charles Soule's novel, but it definitely opens up some interesting and potentially terrifying new avenues for the future of the High Republic. And something I think Into the Dark does better than Light of the Jedi is highlighting some of the differences of the Jedi Order of this era versus how we see them in the prequels. A big question all the High Republic writers asked themselves is, what did the Jedi fear? That was a driving force behind a lot of their stories, and with a title like Into the Dark, you can absolutely expect to see some answers to that question. What drives the Jedi towards the dark? What could potentially cause them to lose their way in the following 200 years? We're already starting to potentially find out. Similar to Light of the Jedi, everything kicks off with the Great Disaster, but our characters don't really know what's happening. They're forced to exit hyperspace near a mysterious abandoned space station. They set it up as a relief station for other ships in their situation during this crisis, and that's the basic setup. And it's a cool one. I got some serious Dawn of the Dead vibes at moments, a large group of different people working to find common ground while they're stranded in deep space. But there is a lot of mystery and danger in the space station, which is very fun to watch unfold. The main character is Reath Silas, a Padawan who is more comfortable in the Jedi archives than on an adventure. He's joined by two masters with some heavy emotional baggage and history that they have to work through during the Great Disaster, as well as basically his big Jedi brother, the knight who was the last Padawan of Reath's current master. Swept up with the Jedi are transport pilots Affy and Leox is basically space Matthew McConaughey, and their navigator Geode, who is literally a rock. And here is how I know how great of a writer Claudia Gray is. I could not be more emotionally invested in Geode, but he's a rock. It's hard to explain, but seriously, he was one of my favorite parts of the book. Of course, as part of a big connected publishing effort, Into the Dark benefits from having read Light of the Jedi first. You don't have to at all, but I would recommend it, because while the Great Disaster is a catalyst for the events of this story, most of the characters are in the dark, pun intended. They are stranded and unsure as to what's happening and dealing with their own lesser disaster. I really appreciated that. I'm glad each book is showing us a different perspective on how the Great Disaster affects various people and locations differently. I like the variety. And while I want to avoid spoilers here, I'll say that there are events in this book that could set off some big chain reactions for the rest of the era. Some surprises I wasn't expecting that will keep the High Republic a little more varied in danger. Let's just say that the Nihil aren't the only threats out in the frontier of the galaxy. I think some people tend to write off young adult books just because of the label, but Into the Dark could be as important as Light of the Jedi for the overall plot. But beyond that, because young adult stories are about young adults growing up, it has a lot of great, very Star Wars-y lessons to pass on. Facing fears, not just physical but more abstract, like getting outside of your comfort zone for personal growth. And there is a lot about questioning authority figures, learning how to trust your gut and your conscience over the rules you may have been told were right your whole life. So yeah, if you like the High Republic era so far, I think this is a great addition to the series with some important galactic implications. But it's also just a good Star Wars story, which shouldn't come as a surprise when Claudia Gray's name is on the cover. If you want to check out Into the Dark for yourself, consider picking it up for free on Audible. Just follow the link in the description or visit www.audibletrial.com/Star Wars Explained. The audiobook is out right now, and the production value on all the Star Wars books is very high with sound effects and music. It's like listening to a movie. Signing up for an Audible trial will get you a credit for one free book, and you can use it on Into the Dark or the other High Republic books, Light of the Jedi or A Test of Courage, or just about any Star Wars book you can think of. Or get any book you want. The point is, you get a free book, and you'll be supporting the channel when you do. But that's it for today. I'd love to hear what you think of Into the Dark when you read it, so let me know down in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all of our High Republic coverage, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.